Hello, hello. Thank you for checking in. It's Thursday. A regular feature of Live with Lorielle, new called Stupid Question Day. Chat in the Hat, where I put on the genius cap, which allows me to answer any question about any topic in the entire universe with complete accuracy. A regular feature of Live with Lorielle. Guaranteed. And I was having some computer problems earlier, just before when I was trying to start live. And my cursor froze and my screen went black, and I had no idea. I was supposed to be on time, so that's why I'm late. But it was because I didn't have the genius hat on. I had forgotten to. I was trying to start the computer without the genius hat, and everything malfunctioned. So it's a good thing I put the hat on, or we would never have gotten a show today. So hello. Hello, thank you for checking in. It is much cooler in Los Angeles today. Very glad about that. And this is going to be a short show because there's been too many difficulties just getting live. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But hello, let me say hello to everybody. Allura Star and Allura Star and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tisas and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Ryan and Photo and Philip Chandler and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Ian G. Tomlinson and Ferris Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and the Cram and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Joe Barney and Red Stapler and John McCain and N1QOV and Blair Cooper and Brett and Terry Sue and Boot and Swede and Cosmic Joe and Max and Jay Dahlman and Sam and St. Clinton and Wing Doggy. Hopefully I've gotten everybody. Hello. And I know there's a huge time difference, so I don't know if they have finished the voting in England, but crossing our fingers that everything that the vote has come and England has voted to stay in the European Union, because I am afraid that if England left, that would destabilize all of Europe. I think that would have a huge effect on the entire world, really. Financial markets and everything, I mean, they're all connected, so that would be a huge thing. So, and I don't think we would even really. Marcel says he'll have the final result in 3 or 4 hours. It's early, yeah. It doesn't just affect England. It doesn't just affect Europe. And in fact, it affects the entire world because all the global financial markets, everything's connected. Everybody, all the big business investment companies around the world are all invested in each other. So there's no such thing as it's just happening in England. They'll know about 11 p.m. my time. Okay. Yeah, right. Well, right now they're just, nobody knows for sure because the final count isn't in, but I think some people are calling it early, Linda, but you really don't know until the vote's in, so it's premature. Oh, and I have got something long here. Hang on, let me scroll back. Marcel says, oh, Marcel has a joke. Marcel says, because it's Friday already where he is, 2 really plastered 40-year-old virgins walked into a whorehouse. They really wanted to get some booty and asked the madam for 2 hookers. The madam of the house asked them to take a seat and have a drink while she arranged their requests. She thought to herself that these men are so wasted that it didn't matter what type of women she supplied them with. So she collected 2 inflatable dolls and put one in front of each of the 2 rooms. The 2 men were there and immediately escorted into their rooms for the night. The next day, while they were leaving, one man said to the other man, "Last night was the worst time I ever had. I just laid there all night waiting for the girl to make her move, and she never did." The other man said to his friend, "That's nothing. My woman was a witch. I leaned over to give her a love bite on the neck, and she farted and then flew out the window." Ah. Ah. They're still 40-year-old virgins. Poor dears. So, hello. I hope everybody is feeling good. Hi, LaCram and everybody on YouTube. So, it's hot where you are, Laura? So, yeah, ah. Grace Dawson says, did you ever watch that movie called Cheaper by the Dozen? There was a part where the boyfriend gets his underwear soaked in meat, and then the dog starts chasing after his crotch. No, I did not see that, Grace Dawson. That's an old movie. I think that's Cheaper by the Dozen. Isn't that like from the 60s or something? That would be an unfortunate situation. So, hello. David Jones says, are there any good movies coming out? I sure hope so. I sure hope so. You know what I saw last week? I saw a film called Genius. Um, Speaking of Genius here, I saw a film called Genius, which is about the author Thomas Wolfe and the relationship between Thomas Wolfe and his editor, Max, from Scribners and Scribners. And it was a really good film. It was a great. Jude Law is in it, and another guy, and Nicole Kidman. And it sounds like it would be a really boring story, but it's an excellent film if you want to see an intelligent film written for adults rather than a comic book movie or an explosion movie. I highly recommend this. It was really really nice. Colin Firth and Jude Law. Sam's, yes, Grace Dawson, you win the stupid question for today. Note to self, never soak underwear in meat juice. Marcel says, if a jogger runs at the speed of sound, can he still hear his iPod? No, he cannot. And if you could run at the speed of sound, you probably wouldn't have an iPod. Because you'd be in space! Oh, then there's a question. Am I still waiting to hear about something? No, I am not waiting to hear about anything right now at the moment. But I think Orgy of the Damned is supposed to be showing up on some. I know they're working on getting it on some distribution networks so that you can actually see it. And I think they were trying to get it on a whole bunch of different online platforms. So, but I'm not sure. I think they got on a couple, but there's more that are in the works. So I was going to keep you up to date because I think the ones they got on first were like some sort of like pay-per-view thing, and I think they're going to be showing up on some free screens too, or some services like if you have like HBO or something, I don't know, Netflix, something like that. Yeah, so, but anyhow, so I recommend the Genius film. It's a small film, and it's probably only going to be in select theaters. so you might have a hard time finding it depending on where you live. If you're in New York and LA, you'll find a couple screens playing it. It's probably not going to be around very long, but will end up on video or online somewhere pretty quickly because it's a small movie and it's the kind of movie that has a hard time competing with Ninja Turtles and explosions and fast cars and stuff, but it's a really good film. Marcel says, would Siamese twins pay for 1 ticket or 2 ticket when they go to the movies and concerts? I suppose it would depend on how many seats they need to take up. Marcel. Say if they had 2 legs, if they have 4 legs, they might need 4 seats. If they have 2 legs, they'd need 1 seat. So it depends on where they're joined. What about Lost Fish? Lost. Oh, Finding Dory. Yeah, or cartoon films, Alora. Yeah, I don't think I'll be going to see Finding Dory. Marcel says, is it rude for a deaf person to talk with their mouth full of food? Well, if they don't use their mouth and they just use their hands, that's okay, Marcel. Some deaf people speak with their mouth and their hands. Wing Doggy says, why aren't you going to go see Finding Dory? I don't go to many cartoon movies, Wing Doggy. Sam says, why do songs get stuck in his head? Because your brains are made of Velcro, Sam. They're sticky. Marcel says, what is Satan's last name? He doesn't need a last name. He's bigger than Cher. He's doesn't need a last name. What does he need a last name for? World famous. When Doggy says he misses Bugs Bunny. Marcel says, if vampires can't see their reflections, why is their hair so neat? I don't know what vampires you've been seeing, but I've been seeing some very messy-headed vampires, Marcel. Finding Dory. Sam's never even heard of it. Finding Dory. It's a cartoon like a Disney or Pixar, one of those movies about fish. Oh, Linda says it is a sequel to Finding Nemo. Now we're Finding Dory. Get with it, fish. Yeah, it's a cartoon movie. Sam says, good grief. Well, exactly. Sweetie doesn't go to cartoon movies. If I suggested a cartoon movie, he would look at me and like, what? I'm a grown man. I'm not going to a cartoon movie. Marcel says, at the movie theater, which armrest is yours? Sweetie's my armrest, Marcel. All of them. The one on the right? No, the one on the left. Sweetie's on my left. We have the certain sides of the movie theater we like to sit on, and certain sides of the bed. Everybody's got their side. David Jones says, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit a cartoon movie? It was a mix, David Jones, of live action and animation. When Dougie says, if he's on the left, the one on the right is yours. No. Why would I lean on the right when Sweetie's on the left? I lean on Sweetie, Wingdoggy. There's a stranger to my right. We share the armrest. David Jones says, no one is stranger than L'Oreal. What do you mean? This is the girl with a red and white striped Dr. Seuss hat. I have no idea what you're talking about. Wing Doggy, what are you saying, Wing Doggy? What are you saying? What are you trying to say, Wing Doggy? Marcel says, do pigs pull their hamstrings? No, Marcel, because they're very conscientious about stretching and getting a good stretch before they go jogging. When Dougie says, if Sweetie's on my left, yeah, Sweetie's on my left. She's right here. And I sit like this. To the left. On my right, that's nowhere's land. I don't even touch that armrest, Wing Doggy. Sam says, if my girl ever called me sweetie, I would be so happy I would jump up and down and say, thank you, Jesus. I'm the luckiest man in the world. Sam might have written something different from that, but that's how I translated it. Wing Doggy is dead set on saying that my armrest at the movie theater should be the right one. Wing Doggy is very territorial about his armrest. This is mine. That's yours. Which armrest does Red use, Wing Doggy? Sturgis Guy said his ex-wife didn't call him sweetie. She called him sushi because he was a cold fish. Sturgis Guy says that's actually a quote from Blade Runner. Sturgis Guy is a replicant. He says, what side of the bed do you sleep on? I sleep on the... Well, it depends on where you're standing. If you're standing at the foot of the bed looking at the bed, I'm on the right. Which would be the... The right side. Tisa says most women sleep on the right. Really? Is there a rule? Linda says not me. Linda sleeps in the center. David Jones says, have you ever taken and passed a Turing test? No, a Turing test. I don't believe that I have taken a Turing test. But if I did, I would pass it because I pass every test. Because I'm a genius. David Jones says, so it's possible that you are not human. It is possible. It is possible that I could be some sort of alien hybrid, David Jones. It is possible. In fact, I read an article recently that said octopuses have DNA which is not of this world. Octopuses may have some sort of foreign alien DNA. Sam says he sleeps on the top side. Marcel says, why don't sheep shrink when it rains? Well, Marcel, they don't shrink, but their hair curls. David Jones says, what is the plural for octopus? Octopussies. Octocats. No, it's octopi. I personally prefer octopussies. Meow. That might get awkward, though. Marcel says, what'd you call a male ladybug? I think you have to call it a male ladybug. I think that. So, yeah, and yeah, it is very possible that there have been alien visitations throughout history since the world has been around for a very long time. There may have been aliens that visited, 1,000, 2,000, a million years ago, and they may have come and seen ancient Earth and all Earth at different points of time in history, because we're assuming that time is the same for everyone. Say, like if 1,000 years on Earth isn't necessarily 1,000 years to an alien on a spacecraft. might only be like a month or so, or maybe it's even longer, but it's, and they may have come, they may have left, they may have disappeared or died off. Marcel says, why don't you ever see the headline, Psychic Wins Lottery? Exactly, Marcel. There it is. Proof that the psychics, there's no such thing as psychics. If you were psychic, you would know what the lottery number is. You would know. All those psychics that have those little storefront windows, little storefront window with a curtain and one chair, they would have a much better office. Marcel says, can a bald man get lice? Yes, Marcel. They're called crabs. Down there. Yes, there's weird bugs, sand lices and water mites and water lice and and microbes and brain-eating amoebas that are in the waters. Linda said one time she got full body lice from some dirty children she was babysitting in Florida. Stay away from those dirty Florida children. They're covered with bugs. They gave her a sinus infection and lice. Just full of germs. Dip them in some antiseptic. Wing Doggy, where's the sand fused together? David Jones says, will the Rio Olympics be successful? No. Nobody is going to go to the Rio Olympics. Athletes are dropping out. People don't want to attend. The fear of the Zika virus, which is spread by mosquitoes, is very great. I don't think it's a good time to go to Brazil. Everybody's afraid of getting bit by a mosquito. Marcel says, do movie producers still say lights, camera, and action when it's a dark scene? Yes, they do, Marcel, because even in a dark scene, you need lights. The camera cannot record if there's not enough light for it to see. There's still lights. So Marcel says, how do you tell when you've run out of invisible ink? I never use invisible ink, Marcel. I found it to be not very effective. You don't hear a TV or a radio, you hear a saw grinding metal, Allura. That is a sound of somebody grinding metal with a yeah, it's just as annoying as you would think. Tisa says he won't be here tomorrow, so here is his joke for tomorrow for Funny Friday. What's worse than having a lobster on your piano? Crabs on your organ! Alright, so I'm just about to sign off because it's already 6:05. I will be back tomorrow on time for Funny Friday, a regular feature of Live with Lorielle New, where we share jokes to put everybody in a good mood for the weekend. So I hope you're going to have a great day. Let me say goodbye to everybody, Laura Starr and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tesis and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip Chandler and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Angie Tomlinson and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and LaCram and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Joe Barney and Red Stapler and John McCain and Brett and Terry Sue and Blair Cooper and Wing Doggy and Max and Sam and St. Clinton and N1QOV and Wing Doggy. All right, kisses for everybody. I love you. I love you all. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's almost the weekend. Yay. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Wait, Marcel says, is it possible to brush your teeth without wiggling your bottom? I've never, I don't, is that something they do in your country? My toothbrush, never done that. What is that? Is that some... Marcel wants us to know that he wiggles his bottom when he brushes his teeth. Is it possible to brush your teeth without wiggling your bottom? Yes. Yes, it is. Most definitely possible to brush your teeth without wiggling your bottom. You can keep your butt still, Marcel. Marcel wants proof. Bye.